Imagine this. You're sitting in your favorite armchair on a Sunday afternoon, a gentle breeze coming through the window, the smell of fresh coffee drifting from the kitchen. Everything feels fine. No chest pain, no shortness of breath. You've had your regular checkups. Your blood pressure is not too bad, and you figure your heart must be doing just fine. But what if I told you that, right now, you could be doing three seemingly harmless things that are quietly wearing your heart down, things you don't even think twice about? Here's the truth that startles even the healthiest looking seniors I've worked with. Most heart problems don't start with dramatic warning signs. They don't always announce themselves with crushing pain or sudden collapse. Often they begin in silence, in the small choices we repeat every day. Over time, these choices create tiny cracks in the walls of our health. And by the time we notice, the damage is already well underway. Let's be honest, when we think about heart disease, we imagine the big things: high cholesterol, smoking, obesity. We nod along when the doctor tells us to eat more vegetables, to exercise, but the habits that can be most dangerous are often hiding in plain sight, disguised as ordinary parts of daily life. That's why they're so dangerous, they slip under our radar. I remember talking to a man named George, 72, from Ohio. Retired for over a decade, George considered himself fairly active. He mowed his lawn, played a round of golf with friends once a week, and enjoyed his morning paper with a big mug of coffee. But he also had a routine of sitting in front of the television for hours after dinner, nibbling on just a few salty snacks. It didn't seem like much until his doctor told him his heart was struggling, his arteries showing signs of early blockage. George's reaction? "I thought I was doing fine. I didn't feel a thing." That's the dangerous part. We don't feel the slow rise of inflammation in our blood vessels. We don't hear the subtle strain as our heart works harder to push blood through narrowed passages. We don't notice how our energy is quietly shrinking, step by step, year after year. But just because we don't notice doesn't mean it isn't happening. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 everyday habits that quietly put your heart at risk, especially after 70. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to open your eyes to patterns you might not have realized were harmful, and to show you exactly how to replace them with habits that protect your heart for the years ahead. Because when it comes to healthy aging and senior wellness, prevention is your most powerful medicine. Before we dive into the first habit, let's talk about why the heart becomes more vulnerable as we age. Think of your arteries like flexible garden hoses. When you're younger, they're soft, elastic, and quick to bounce back after pressure. But with time, daily wear and tear stiffens them. Plaque made of fat, cholesterol, and other substances can stick to the walls, making the pathway narrower. It's a natural part of aging, but it's not something we have to simply accept. The key is recognizing what accelerates that process and what slows it down. One more thing. I want you to listen to this with curiosity, not guilt. If you recognize yourself in these habits, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means you now have the power to change. You can start today, even if you've been doing these things for decades. That's the beauty of the human body. It can repair, adapt, and strengthen when given the right conditions. So, what's the first quiet habit that can harm your heart without you even realizing it? Let's step into a scenario you might know all too well. Picture this. It's a cold January evening in Minnesota. Dinner is over, the dishes are stacked in the sink, and the living room is warm and cozy. The television clicks on, and you settle into your favorite recliner. Before you know it, an hour passes, then another. You might get up to grab a glass of water or switch the laundry. But for the most part, you're sitting still. Harmless, right? After all, you're retired. You've earned the right to relax. Here's the hidden problem. Long periods of sitting without real movement are one of the most underestimated risks to senior heart health. It's not about whether you go for a morning walk or do some gardening on the weekend. What matters is the total number of hours your body stays in idle mode each day. Research from the American Heart Association has shown that sitting for more than 6-8 hours a day can increase the risk of heart disease by over 40%, even if you get some exercise in the morning. That's because the damage isn't just about lack of calories burned, it's about what happens inside your body when your muscles stay inactive for too long. When you're sitting, blood flow slows down. Your leg muscles, which normally act like pumps to help push blood back to the heart, are barely working. This makes it easier for fatty deposits to settle along artery walls. At the same time, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar and blood pressure weakens. Imagine a river with no current sediment starts to collect, and the water gets murky. That's what's happening in your bloodstream when you stay still for too long. I met a woman named Linda, 69, from Florida, who told me she thought she was active because she walked her dog every morning. But after that, she'd spend hours at her sewing machine, only pausing for coffee or lunch. When her doctor found early signs of plaque in her carotid arteries, she was shocked. "I walk every day," she said. But walking 20 minutes in the morning couldn't undo the damage of 8-10 sedentary hours that followed. The fix? It's simpler than you might think. You don't need to join a gym or run marathons. The goal is to break up sitting time with small bursts of movement. Stand up and stretch during television commercials. Walk around the house while you're on the phone. Put on your favorite song and dance for 3 minutes in the kitchen. These micro movements keep your circulation active and your arteries healthier. If you want a habit that sticks, link it to something you already do. For example, every time you finish a cup of coffee, stand up and walk to a window. Look outside for a minute, then walk back. Every time you check the mail, take the long way around the block. It's these tiny changes, repeated daily, that create a stronger, healthier heart over time. And here's the bonus. Moving more doesn't just protect your heart. It improves digestion, keeps your joints flexible, and boosts your mood. Seniors who break up long sitting periods often report sleeping better at night and feeling more alert during the day, both essential for healthy aging and longevity. So if the first silent habit harming your heart is staying still for too long, the solution is not just exercise more, but sit less. Even a few extra minutes of movement each hour can dramatically improve senior wellness and keep you on the path to living longer, stronger, and more independently. Now, let's move on to the second quiet habit. A habit so common in the American lifestyle that most people don't even question it. Yet it can slowly strain your heart every single day. It's a sunny Saturday morning in Ohio, and Jim, 72, is at the grocery store. He's proud that he's been cutting back on the salt shaker at home. He hasn't added extra salt to his eggs in years. But what he doesn't know is that the biggest source of sodium in his diet isn't the salt he sprinkles, it's the salt already hiding in the foods he buys. This hidden salt is one of the most dangerous traps for senior heart health. In America, over 70% of the sodium we consume comes from processed and packaged foods, not from the salt shaker. That includes soups, breads, salad dressings, frozen meals, deli meats, canned vegetables, and even healthy snacks. These foods may not taste salty, but they can pack more sodium into a single serving than your heart can handle in a day. Here's why that matters. High sodium levels make your body hold on to water, increasing the volume of blood in your arteries. That extra pressure forces your heart to work harder, straining its walls and slowly damaging them. Over time, it can lead to high blood pressure, heart failure, and a higher risk of stroke. Imagine blowing up a balloon just a little too much. Day after day, it may not pop right away, but eventually, the pressure will take its toll. I remember talking to Carol, a 8-year-old retired teacher from Texas, who swore she didn't eat much salt. Then she started keeping a food diary for a week. She was shocked to find that her healthy turkey sandwich lunch contained nearly 200 milligram of sodium just from the bread, and deli meat more than half the daily recommended amount for seniors, before she even counted the pickles and mustard. The early signs of too much sodium are often overlooked: swelling in the ankles or fingers, feeling more tired than usual, frequent headaches, or even waking up with puffy eyes. These small changes can be your body's way of saying your heart is under pressure. The fix? It starts with awareness. Read labels, even on foods you think are safe. Look for sodium and not just salt. They're the same thing. A general rule: if the number is over 140 milligram per serving, it's on the high side for something that's supposed to be healthy. When you can, swap canned vegetables for fresh or frozen ones without added sauce. Choose low-sodium broths and season your food with herbs, lemon juice, or garlic instead of salt. Cooking at home is one of the best ways to control sodium, and it doesn't mean you have to sacrifice flavor. In fact, many seniors find that once they reduce salt, their taste buds become more sensitive, and they start enjoying the natural sweetness of tomatoes, the brightness of fresh herbs, and the richness of roasted vegetables in a way they never noticed before. And here's the important truth: you don't have to remove all salt from your diet to protect your heart. You just have to keep it in check. By cutting back on hidden sodium, you're not only lowering your blood pressure, but also improving circulation and giving your heart the breathing room it needs to keep you active and independent well into your 72nd and beyond. Now, the third silent habit we need to talk about is one most people would never connect to heart damage, and yet it's something that can quietly weaken your cardiovascular system year after year without you even realizing it. Picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday afternoon in Minnesota. The sun is streaming through the living room window, and Mary, 74, is curled up in her favorite armchair watching her daily shows. She sits there for an hour, then another. Before she knows it, 3 hours have passed, with barely more than a trip to the kitchen for tea. This might seem harmless after all. She's retired. She deserves to rest. But here's the truth. Prolonged sitting is one of the most underestimated risks for senior heart health. In fact, some doctors now call it the new smoking because of how it quietly harms the body over time. When you sit for long stretches without movement, your circulation slows down. Your leg muscles act like pumps for your blood, and when they're inactive, blood tends to pool in your lower body. This makes it harder for your heart to move blood efficiently, which can lead to clots, higher blood pressure, and less oxygen delivery to your cells. Over the years, This lack of circulation can weaken your heart muscle and increase your risk of heart attack and stroke, even if you think you're healthy. I remember meeting a Vietnam veteran named George at a community center in Florida. He told me he used to walk miles every day for work, but once he retired, he found himself spending most of his time sitting in front of the television or reading. His doctor finally sat him down, ironically enough, and explained that despite his normal cholesterol and blood pressure, his sedentary lifestyle was silently cutting years off his life. That was the wake-up call he needed. The early signs of a too sedentary lifestyle are often subtle. Stiffness in the hips or lower back, shortness of breath after climbing just a few stairs, or feeling unusually tired in the late afternoon even without much activity. Many seniors dismiss these signs as just aging, but in reality they're warnings from your heart and muscles that they're not getting the movement they need. The solution isn't about running marathons or joining a gym. For seniors over 70, small, frequent movements are more powerful than you think. Stand up every 30 minutes and walk around the house. Do gentle leg raises while watching television. Try seated marching exercises to keep your blood flowing. Even light gardening or folding laundry can count toward keeping your circulation active. Here's the beautiful part. Movement not only protects your heart but also boosts your mood, keeps your joints flexible, and improves your balance, reducing your risk of falls. It's the kind of habit that gives you more independence, more energy, and more confidence in your daily life. When we put it all together, these three silent habits, skipping regular checkups, eating hidden salt, and sitting too much, can slowly wear down your heart without you even realizing it. But here's the good news. Awareness is power. Once you know the risks, you can start making small changes today that will have a big impact on your future. Imagine yourself a year from now, your heart stronger, your steps lighter, your days filled with more energy than you thought possible after 70. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the direct result of choosing daily habits that work with your heart, not against it. So, as we wrap up today's video, I want you to remember this. Your heart has been working for you every second of your life. It's carried you through joy, loss, laughter, and love. Now it's your turn to take care of it. Start small, stay consistent, and give your heart the gift of a longer, healthier life. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more tips on healthy aging, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we can spread the message that it's never too late to protect the most important muscle in your body. Until next time, take care of your heart, and it will take care of you.